CZ is one of the most powerful and controversial men in crypto. He does a lot of interviews and has a solid public presence. But make no mistake, he is an elusive man who has used these interviews to build a narrative. Most of what we know is from his interviews and public appearances, which can be very deceiving. So, you need to ask, who really is CZ? His company, Binance, is even more secretive. Although the largest crypto exchange in the world, no one really knows where its headquarters is. Why does it matter? Well, if no one knows where it's based, no government can directly regulate it. Thanks to this, some crypto enthusiasts see him as a saint who is against regulations and will do anything to keep the government out of his business. But others see him as a ruthless businessman who doesn't care about anything except making money. From countless accusations like money laundering, tax evasion, and terrorism financing, to CZ being a catalyst in FTX's collapse, he doesn't have a great reputation. Whatever you think, he is a fascinating man who built the most successful crypto exchange and became a billionaire within a year of founding it. This is the story of CZ, the most powerful man in crypto. CZ spent most of his early days in rural China and didn't have anything notable. Both his parents were highly educated. His father was a university teacher and his mom a school teacher. But the state didn't agree with CZ's father's philosophy and exiled him to rural China for being a pro-bourgeois intellect, basically having a liberal philosophy. After spending a few years in rural China, the family moved to Canada when CZ was just 12. During his teenage years, CZ helped his family financially by doing menial jobs like working as a fast food clerk at McDonald's. Later, he would attend McGill University in Montreal and major in computer science. Here, CZ would get an internship opportunity in Tokyo. The late 90s was the peak of the dot-com bubble, and Japan had one of the best tech companies in the world. CZ saw this and decided to take this opportunity. This is where he got his first exposure to the stock exchange business. During this time, stock trading was still manual and companies were rushing to build an automated trading platform. This is where CZ got his first exposure to the stock exchange business. He worked for a subcontractor that was developing software for the Tokyo Stock Exchange to match buy and sell orders. After graduating, he decided to stay in Tokyo and got another job that would help him immensely later on. He worked for Bloomberg Tradebook as a developer of futures trading software, and he was really good at it. CZ received 3 promotions and headed the Tokyo, New Jersey, and New York teams. He was on track to have a very successful career, but wanted to do something different. So in 2005, when he was 28, CZ decided to leave his job and start up a business. CZ had seen the stock markets closely and knew there were some gaps in the market. He moved to Shanghai, China, and became a partner at an early startup called Fusion Systems. He stayed here and built the company for 8 years. This company built high-frequency trading systems. Basically, high-frequency trading means using incredibly powerful computers to trade stocks very fast, often in nanoseconds. This strategy aims to take advantage of small price differences that exist for a very short time in the markets. High-frequency trading is big these days, and almost every quant hedge fund uses it, but it was in its early days in 2005. Over 8 years, CZ closed deals with big names like Credit Suisse and Goldman Sachs. He was already a moderately successful businessman at this point, but his life would completely change in 2013. While playing poker with a venture capitalist friend, CZ was introduced to Bitcoin. In 2013, Bitcoin was still a fringe concept and very few people understood it, but it was exploding. It had rallied to $700 from $13 in a few years and was getting somewhat famous, so people were pouring money into it blindly. But CZ was different. Rather than following the hype, he decided to understand Bitcoin and how it worked. Initially, he didn't think it would be that good and downloaded the white paper of Bitcoin just to prove himself right. But when he read it, he knew it was revolutionary. In CZ's own words, "I knew the email was going to stay when I saw it. I knew social media was going to stay, and I was getting a similar feeling with Bitcoin." So CZ went all in. He left Fusion Systems and joined blockchain.info as a lead developer. It is a cryptocurrency wallet that allows you to hold crypto. Here, he would work with Bitcoin evangelists like Roger Ver and Ben Reeves. While working on this, CZ was constantly thinking about building an exchange that exclusively traded cryptocurrencies. Back in the early 2010s, crypto exchanges were horrible. They were very slow, unreliable, and hadn't many transactions. They were also not very stable and trustworthy, with exchanges like Mt. Gox collapsing overnight. CZ had worked in the exchange business for a long time and knew his way around the industry. Crypto was ripe for disruption. But opening up an exchange was no easy thing. The investment required would be huge, and CZ wanted to have the best technology money could buy. Luckily for CZ, 2016 was a perfect time to launch something like this. It was a crypto bull market, and every project was funded by initial coin offering. Basically, IPO, but for crypto. With the crypto mania going on, it wasn't very hard to raise funds, and CZ raised $15 million for Binance. Most of the projects during this ICO hype were a scam and quick money grabs. CZ had huge plans, though. He invested everything in Binance and built an actually great exchange. Binance boasted the lowest fees, the highest transaction volume, and overall ease of use. Combining that with the outspoken personality of CZ and a carefully constructed narrative, Binance was an instant hit. Within months of launch, Binance was the largest crypto exchange in the world. It made a massive $200 million profit in the second quarter of its existence. And CZ appeared in the February 28, 2018 issue of Forbes magazine. Binance hasn't looked back ever since. CZ's net worth peaked at almost $65 billion in 2022, but has dropped significantly after that to $10 billion, but he is still one of the most richest men in crypto. But the story of Binance isn't as simple as this. There is a much more sinister side to the story. You see, cryptocurrency and blockchain value people's privacy and anonymity. And CZ has made it very clear he values these things, but anonymity is also good for people who don't have very good motives. Binance has become a hub for money laundering, and many hackers and criminals use it to hide their money. For instance, when North Korea hackers stole $5 million from a small crypto exchange, they used Binance to shuffle their money around, and within minutes of the heist, their money was untraceable. Binance is also very shady in its business practices. No one knows where its headquarters is at, and it has been avoiding regulators for a long time. Now, you might argue this is the whole point of crypto and blockchain, to avoid regulators. But that's not true. Binance has used this narrative to build trust around itself while not taking accountability or actions to reduce any crimes. Binance is extremely relaxed about crimes happening on its platform. Many advisors have repeatedly proposed countermeasures for crimes without affecting the user's privacy and anonymity, but Binance hasn't taken anything seriously. But recently, the regulators have had enough, and Binance is getting sued by everyone. Specifically in the US, both the SEC and CFTC are coming down at Binance hard. On June 26, 2023, CFTC sued Binance alleging it had allowed US-based users to trade crypto derivatives. Crypto derivatives are extremely volatile, and CTFC has banned them in the US. However, Binance allowed its US-based users to circumvent this by simply using a VPN. The SEC has also opened up a potentially huge case accusing Binance of misappropriating customers' funds. Now, if you know anything about the FTX saga, you know how big this is. The SEC has also accused Binance of artificially increasing their trading volume to appear bigger, which would be a huge fraud. In essence, this year is going to be very hard for Binance, as it's facing lawsuits left and right with serious repercussions. Its US lawsuit could get it permanently banned in the US, and CZ could potentially face jail time. It will be interesting to see everything unravel. So, what do you think about CZ and Binance in general? Do you think he stands by his ideals and is doing everything accordingly? Or do you think he is a ruthless business with no sides? Comment that down below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.